You're watching WNDU TV. News Center 16 Sunday morning starts now.
Police are investigating a shooting at a local gas station. Hear what one witness has to say about the scary encounter. And good morning, I'm Travis Robinson. Here's what else is making news this morning, Sunday, August 19th of 2018. A popular 90s boy band concert is canceled. Find out what left over a dozen fans injured. And a Texas plane goes down just after takeoff. What caused the crash that left several injured? Now we start with new information. One boy is dead and another's in critical condition after they were pulled from Lake Michigan on Saturday in Chesterton. Indiana conservation officers say a 10-year-old boy was found face down in the water Saturday afternoon. He was pulled to the shore and taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Now 1 hour later, a 14-year-old boy was pulled from the water nearby. He's still at a hospital and he's in critical condition. Officers say there were water restrictions in place during both of these incidents. And new details, as South Bend police are investigating a shooting near Notre Dame's campus just as students are moving back in. Officers were called to the Speedway gas station near Edison and State Road 23 just after 5:30 Saturday night. Police found a 28-year-old man with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds to his upper chest at a nearby apartment complex. Now, witnesses told police that the victim approached a vehicle at the gas station and then shots were fired. One witness says he saw what happened and sprung into action to protect an innocent family caught in the middle at a nearby pump.
They have a family. I just want to go home safe. I want to go home safe and keep them safe. I'm just glad I was here to protect that family and to protect other citizens here. I'm proud to be a gun owner and stuff like that, so I'm just proud to be who I am.
Now, after the shooting, police say another man ran away as the vehicle left the scene. And this is still an open investigation, so anyone with any information should call the South Bend Police. And we'll be sure to keep you updated as the story develops. Now, turning now to an update out of Elkhart. A 23-year-old man is now in custody after Elkhart police say he stole one of their cars. It all started in the area just east of Carlton Avenue and Prairie Street when an officer checked the license plate on a vehicle in front of her. Now, that didn't match up, so officers pulled over Cameron McCain, who was driving. Police say he looked a little nervous and gave some false information, and so as officers tried to detain McCain, he ran away before circling back to that area, and at that point, he got into a squad car and he drove off. Now, McCain was gone when police found the squad car over in the 1400 block of West Lusher Avenue. But a police canine helped track him to the 1300 block of Fieldhouse Avenue, where police eventually figured out McCain's address and arrested him. Officials say the squad car did have some damage, but nothing was stolen from it, and even the guns were still in place. And there's still a little bit of fog in the air this morning. Cindy joins me from the Weather Lab to tell us if the weather we'll be seeing is going to stay in place.
Well, yeah, today is going to be quite a bit like yesterday, starting off with the fog. You can see that here. The visibility is still pretty down in a lot of areas, but it is going to be improving. As we take a look at some of these numbers, you'll see that some of the lowest visibility is in the southwestern part of our viewing area. Knox, Winnemac, both checking in with very dense fog, at least right now. Now, we do expect to see improvement, especially over the next hour. That sun really starts to rise, kind of burns things off. We have a third of a mile visibility right now in Benton Harbor and Rochester. It does get a little bit better as you head further to the east. It's not too bad right now in Elkhart. You can see the sunshine this morning. We'll be seeing a fair amount of that today. Temperatures around Michiana are for the most part in the low to mid 60s. We'll be climbing back into the 80s by this afternoon. In fact, here's your day planner forecast. We expect to see partly to mostly sunny skies today. It's going to be another muggy day as well. Temperatures near normal, but we do have an outside chance for a stray shower. We're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up in just a few minutes. Travis?
New this morning, 14 people are injured after a concrete structure collapsed on them during a Backstreet Boys concert in Oklahoma. Fans waited at an outdoor concert in Love County to see the 90s boy band on stage until a storm with wind rushing at nearly 80 miles per hour knocked over a concrete entrance prop, injuring fans below. The concert was canceled after officials evacuated the area, but all 14 concert goers were taken to a hospital, and so far, only 2 of them have been released. And 3 people are injured after a plane crash in Texas. The crash happened Saturday night at Addison Airport, and shortly after takeoff, the plane crashed, veering off into the taxi lane. One of the 3 passengers had to be taken to the hospital, but there's no word yet on how badly they were injured. And President Trump and the former director of the Central Intelligence Agency are now openly at war and mincing no words. NBC White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell reports on the back and forth between the president and the former director of the CIA.
A new battle in a very public feud.
I've never respected him. I've never had a lot of respect.
But he's drunk on power. He really is.
After President Trump stripped the security clearance from former CIA Director John Brennan, today the public dressing down. On Twitter, the president called Brennan a loudmouth, partisan political hack who cannot be trusted with the secrets to our country. Brennan, who says he has no party affiliation, spent close to 3 decades at the CIA, serving as director under President Obama. Friday, he hit the president where it hurts.
So there is collusion in plain sight.
Brennan cites the Donald Trump Jr. 2016 Trump Tower meeting and candidate Trump urging Russia to find Hillary Clinton's emails as troublesome.
But I don't know whether or not any of that rises to the level of conspiracy and whether any of that conspiracy rises to the level of criminal liability for that conspiracy.
Brennan is a paid national security analyst for NBC. The president accuses him of making his collusion claims for TV.
This came up lately, and it's a disgusting thing, frankly.
Just 3 months ago, the president celebrated the CIA.
It is a true honor to stand here today before the most elite intelligence professionals on the planet Earth. Nobody even close.
Using his power to revoke clearances, set off sirens for dozens of former national security officials who signed a letter of protest. Others say ongoing access to secrets has value.
The reason former officials have these clearances is so that they can turn around and give advice to their successors.
New developments as right-wing demonstrators gathered in Seattle, drawing dozens of counter-protesters from the left. Right-wing groups held a Liberty or Death rally outside of City Hall on Saturday, protesting a gun control initiative that would raise the age limit for buying semi-automatic rifles. Now, as you can see in this video, both groups were separated by metal barriers on opposite sides of the street. However, 2 counter-protesters were arrested for unknown reasons. And hundreds of Koreans registered today to participate in a week of temporary reunions of families separated by the Korean War. For many, there's been little to no contact with their loved ones since the war sealed off the division of the peninsula into the north and south. Both Koreans banned citizens from visiting relatives on either side of the border or contacting them without permission. Now, nearly 20,000 people have participated in 20 rounds of face-to-face reunions since 2000. This week's reunions come after a 3-year hiatus in which North Korea tested nuclear weapons and multiple missiles, demonstrating the potential of striking the United States. Now, we eat them on our way to work, school, or for a healthy snack, but are granola bars really healthy? Mary Maloney has the answer in today's Health Minute.
Granola contains healthy ingredients like oats, nuts, and fruit, giving you important nutrients such as protein, iron, and fiber. But granola is calorie dense. Some contain a little more than 300 calories per cup. But when you add things like sugars, oils, even chocolate, granola can pack 600 calories in a cup. If you are watching sugars, carbs, or calories, limit granola, especially since it can be difficult to determine how much fat and sugar is naturally present in the ingredients. Dietitians say a quarter of a cup is a good guideline. Try it as a topping to yogurt or fruit, or mix it into a bowl of lower calorie cereal, giving you a bigger bowl without going into calorie overload. You could also make your own granola, but make sure you have your measuring cups handy, because even healthy, good-for-you granola can be high in calories and fat. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
News Center 16 has a new and exciting way to celebrate your school, team, and fans. It's the Friday morning football pep rally presented by Monteith's Best One. Every week, we're going to pick 3 upcoming Friday night football matchups from all around Michiana. Then you get to make the final call on who will be our featured matchup and host the pep rally the next week. Matchups for next Friday feature Jimtown hosting Washington, Bremen hosting Riley, and Adams hosting Lowell, Michigan. We'll announce the winner every Monday on 16 Morning News. Then on Friday, we're live on 16 Morning News starting at 6 a.m. on the winner's home turf for Friday Football Pep Rally. That's your chance to showcase all the great things about your school. And that's not all. Then we're back live at your school that Friday night, right before the lights go on, to preview the matchup from 5 to 6:30. To top it all off, News Center 16 is going to shine the spotlight on your game during Friday Night Football at 11 p.m. Go to our website and app to vote right now. Coming up, a ghost ship right here in America. But it's not as scary as the movies make them out to be. This one's full of history. You don't want to miss it.
You're watching WNDU-TV, News Center 16, Sunday morning.
New developments out of India. Indian Prime Minister Modi assessed the damage after the worst floods in a century to hit the southwestern coastal area. The Indian Prime Minister flew over the heavily flooded area on Saturday, and so far, 164 people have been killed by the flood, and 200,000 were forced into relief camps. Officials say the area has been hit with over a third more rain than average during the current monsoon. Authorities say they plan to implement controlled releases of water from dams to help manage flows and minimize damage, but rains are expected to subside to light to moderate levels later today. Hopefully we're not getting any rain over here this way.
No, certainly not like that, but as we start off the work week, we'll have another storm system moving through that could bring some heavy rain. Not like that, but it's something that we'll keep our eyes on. What we're watching this morning, the big story really has been the fog. Let's take a look at our headlines this morning, and we are starting off with that fog, but it will be improving pretty quickly here now that the sun is up, and we'll really keep an eye on things for you. But we do expect to see, certainly by 9 o'clock, some pretty big improvement. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing a day much like it was yesterday, warm and muggy, partly to mostly sunny skies, and kind of like yesterday, a stray shower is possible. Looks like mostly for eastern areas. We'll show you future track in just a second. Here's another check of the visibility. We're down to near zero visibility. Knox, Winnemac, a third of a mile for Rochester and Benton Harbor. And it gets better as you get further to the east, but it's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. If you're leaving the house, maybe in the next half an hour or so, you may be encountering some fog, especially in the western and southwestern areas. All right, not much Fog in downtown South Bend, it looks okay. I remember as I was driving in, though, it would be totally fine, and then all of a sudden you'd hit some fog, and that's going to be the case. The visibility will vary across the area. Temperatures today similar to yesterday, but probably a couple of degrees warmer as we expect to top off in the low to mid 80s this afternoon. And then tonight it'll be a little warmer as well, with those lows getting down into the middle 60s. As we take a look at our satellite radar composite, there really has been nothing going on. We did have a couple of spotty real isolated showers yesterday afternoon, and that could be the case once again today. Here's what 16 Future Track is showing. We've got the fog this morning. That should clear off for us. It does show, again, a few isolated showers. I think it's overdoing it. I think there is maybe about a 10% chance for a shower to be popping up. I don't think we would see quite as much as it was showing. Not that it was showing much to begin with, but basically what I'm saying, the chances are extremely low, but they're not zero. As we head through tonight, we'll be seeing mostly clear skies once again, and then the clouds start to build in as we head into Monday. We'll see a storm system approaching from the southwest, and we should start to see some of that rain moving in, certainly by late in the afternoon and into the evening. Rain could be heavy in spots. We'll keep an eye on that for you, and some thunder will be possible. The low will start to move across the area as we get into Monday night and early Tuesday, and we'll continue to see a chance for some showers and thunderstorms, even on the back side of that low through the day on Tuesday. Slight chance as we get into Tuesday night, but then behind that, things are going to be a lot more comfortable. As we head through today, areas of fog may still linger right at 9 or so, but then things, again, they're going to be improving pretty quickly this morning. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, going to be muggy, and again, a stray shower is possible in spots this afternoon. For Monday, temperatures about 80-ish degrees, a good chance for some showers and some rumbles of thunder, especially later on in the day. Otherwise, clouds increasing right on through the day. Tuesday, we'll start off with that chance for showers and some rumbles of thunder. Cooler temperatures in the mid-70s then, and it'll be much less muggy by the time we get to Wednesday. Mostly sunny Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we bring in a small chance for some showers and storms. I think a better chance Friday night and a slight chance Saturday morning as well. But going to be a little bit on the muggy side once again today. But today it's going to be a lot like yesterday.
Okay, so no need to cancel any beach plans or anything?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the nice thing is that the beach forecast, which I'm going to have coming up for you in the next half hour, looks better than what it was looking like yesterday.
Okay, and even if there's a little rain, it should clear up and go away pretty easily?
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much, Cindy, for that. And hiding below the tree line in Boone County, Kentucky, is a piece of American history. Maybe rusted and abandoned now, but in its prime, the boat called the Sachem was the epitome of American class.
Brian Hamrick takes an in-depth look at this ghost ship. You have to see to believe. Take a look.
Submerged under an ocean of trees.
It's a big boat. It's a very big boat.
Are the rusting bones of a shipwrecked dream.
A little bit creepy.
Now a nautical zombie scarred by the waves of time.
I think the most surprising fact is that it's in a little creek in the middle of Boone County, Kentucky.
It's best known as the Sachem. It's sitting off the Ohio River in just a few feet of water, but it's more than 100 years deep in history. To give you an idea of how much history this boat's seen, it was launched 10 years before the Titanic. And well, it's not in much better shape.
They call it the ghost ship of Cincinnati, but I'm pretty sure that nobody's ever died on the boat.
Alex Miller has a treasure chest.
Right here we got photographs of all the blueprints of the boat.
Not filled with gold, but it is a wealth of information on the ship, built by a railroad tycoon in 1902.
J. Rogers Maxwell. This is the bill of sale of everybody that's ever owned it.
By the 1980s, it fell into disrepair and would have been scrapped if not for Butch Miller.
My dad loved boats.
Alex's father, he bought it with big plans.
This was going to be his house.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a house, I would call it a mansion.
It's a tiny little creek off of the Ohio.
This is the owner of the boat and the land around it. He appreciates the history, but says the ship is creating a major problem. He says the signs designed to keep people out aren't working. His concern is that visitors could fall into holes or off the boat or into some other tangled web of danger lurking on board.
It's a huge liability for us.
The owner doesn't want to use his name because in order to protect himself legally, he might have to do something very unpopular.
Worst comes to worst, we're just going to have it scrapped.
But there is a possibility of preservation.
Something needs to happen with it. It's too valuable in our history to let it be melted in a scrapyard.
Sherry Schwartz is a volunteer with the Sachem Project. They're beginning an effort to raise money and awareness. And they're not alone. So is Alex Miller. He too has hopes of resurrecting his father's dream.
Oh yeah, the boat is definitely part of the family.
The Sachem hasn't moved in 30 years, but it hasn't lost the ability to transport the imagination to places far beyond the banks of the Ohio River.
Now, some of the more famous people to ride on that boat, Thomas Edison did torpedo and submarine detection experiments from its deck.
And get this, even Madonna shot some scenes for her famous Papa Don't Preach music video while on board.
Hopefully it was a little nicer looking when she did that, though.
I would think so.
Looks a little scary there. Well, the saying goes, you get what you pay for. But do you really?
Yeah, we'll tell you what that you're buying that you probably shouldn't spend quite as much on. That's just ahead on Money Talks News.
Nobody heads out shopping with the intention of spending more money than they have to, but that's exactly what we often do. Here's money expert Stacy Johnson with a list of common buys that cost a little more than they probably should.
Getting married and getting buried. Both events that run into the thousands. If you've paid for either, you'll probably acknowledge they often cost more, a lot more, than you feel like they should. But there are lots of things we buy that are way overpriced. Here are some of my favorites, along with some alternatives. First, pets. Why would you ever pay $1,000 for a purebred dog when you can get one practically free from the Humane Society and save a life at the same time? Next, designer anything. From handbags to sunglasses to clothes, it's easy to pay hundreds of dollars extra just for a name. Sure, sometimes quality is better, but hundreds better? Not often. And speaking of a name, there's makeup. Sometimes better? Maybe. But listen to this bite from a makeup artist from a 2010 story.
This Chanel foundation, love it, $45. This Maybelline here at Walgreens for $10.50.
How about razor blades? You can pay $3.50 for a heavily advertised cartridge. That's insane, especially when you can get a virtually identical no-name for less than half that price. How about HDMI cables? You can get them for a couple of bucks, but you can find it for $70. It's amazing. Finally, glasses. You can go to a high-end store and pay $500 for frames, or you can go online and pay $50. You can also go to a warehouse store and pay a lot less. What are we, blind? Believe me, I could go on, but I'm out of time. So let's take this conversation online. Go to moneytalksnews.com, do a search for shopping, and tell me what